This patch rocked our world. Unfortunately, it did not rock the top 3 too much, and you'll see our old favorites here. However, there is a certain ninja who has been tearing it up, and it is very happy to see you pick him up again. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another ProGuides CFT video. Today we're going to be talking about patch 10.24 must play comps and why they have been so successful so far. Make sure to play these comps when you can, and you will definitely rise in rank. As with every top comps list, getting the top comp will not guarantee you first place, but it will get you a high enough chance to finish top 4, netting you that sweet LP. Positioning, items, and scouting are still your most important tools in the game, working together with your comp in order to give you that shiny first place. In this video, we'll be talking about each comp, a general playstyle guide, look at items they use, and their positioning. This patch turned out fairly predictable by reading the patch notes, but there were a few surprises in here that we didn't realize would be that strong. So now you'll see it featured here today as one of the most stable top 4 comps that you can use to rank up. For our question of the day, which comp are you finding success with? Before we dive right on in, I just want to let you guys know that we have a Discord community and a new subreddit that is growing really fast. We have all of you to thank for that, and we really want to continue building our community and helping you be a part of it. Make sure you check out the link in the description down below. And with that all being said, let's go ahead and dive right into our top comp for 10.24, and it's Dusk. It's the usual stuff, with not much changing in the composition, who the carries are, or what items you get. Just that Jhin is a little bit higher in value now, as he does buttloads of damage. Dusk is fairly flexible early, transitioning into it as you find units for it. Fielding a Thresh and a Vayne early for Dusk Bronze trait is not a bad move, as most things benefit from the 20% spell power. You'll be leveling to 7 and 8 as quickly as you can and looking for Riven, Cassio, and Jhin. Aatrox is not that much of a priority, and finding him is definitely not a surefire indication that you are going to go for this comp. However, he is needed for the Cultist trait later on, and his spell is pretty high value, of course. Chosen for this comp is absolutely not necessary, so you can just juggle them and try to get the best you can for your current comp. You should definitely look for a good Chosen on your level 8 roll and then settle for a Dusk one, especially if you have a spatula item. Mystic, Keeper Riven, or similar ones can also help you and provide viable alternatives to the usual comp. Don't be afraid to give them a whirl. Riven and Jhin are your main units, and Sharpshooter Jhin Chosen is another good option, as is his Cultist version, at least until you get Zillion or skip Aatrox for Adept if you play Yone. Anyway, this got a little bit confusing. Suffice to say that you can be flexible with your Chosen here, playing that one that gives you the best benefit at the time. If you are doing well, you can even go 9, sell that Chosen if it isn't essential, and hunt for a legendary one. With the Chosen chances for legendaries increasing on level 9, this is the time. Since this is a power level comp as usual, Fortune is an excellent choice for it, and it can help you along the way, boosting that gold to infinity. You can transition really well from Fortune as well, using Jinx as a CC'er and Jhin for the damage, putting Riven items on a frontliner, and transitioning once you find your units. If you do it smoothly, this comp will get you places. The usual Jhin positioning works here, with a more separate frontline and help from Zillion in case, he dies. With Zillion, he's quite literally on borrowed time. You can mirror the Jhin and Zillion on the other side if you want to protect from assassins like Diana or Zed. Make sure your Cassio is in the frontline for better ults, and move your Riven and Yone around towards clumps of enemies to get the most value out of them. Nothing has changed since the start of set 4 here. Jhin wants his BF item triplets, GA, Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, with a Giant Slayer put in there if you can't find one of the DPS items. Riven likes her GA, Ionic, and X, which can be the Hand of Justice, Bramble, Dragon's Claw, and so on. Remember, Riven is a bruiser and she will do damage via Dusk anyway, so you want her as tanky as possible. Yone can take the extra DPS items and you're ready to roll. Let's move on to our next comp. Finally, we get a showcase of our favorite comp in a must-play, and boy is it a must-play this patch, and it doesn't even rely on Shade Zed. Well, we say it doesn't require a Shade Zed Chosen, but it's probably the signal to play it when you find him. Ninja is not an easy comp to play. Finding the 4 ninjas can be a challenge, especially Shen. The fact that you have to essentially invest interest in them since they have to stay on your bench instead of going into the field until you find all 4 is also a little bit awkward. What ninjas do is take that awkwardness and kind of use it to bloom, kind of like me in high school. Unfortunately, some of y'all still think I'm cringe, and honestly, I could see it. Anyway, without Keeper and being chosen, Kennen has trouble staying alive, Kali has been nerfed to the ground, and Shen is definitely not a carry. By default, we turn to our 4th ninja buddy, who even got buffed last patch and his slow roll levels got a lot smoother. At level 6 or 7, which are your initial goals with this comp, especially at 7, you have the best chance of finding your chosen Zed, which is cool, since you actually don't have to get him as you're chosen for this comp to work. At level 7, you slow roll for Zed 3-star and any other stuff that you can get. A Keeper Kennen is not bad as a transition chosen if you find yourself dying, and remember, much more damage early, but you are not winning without the Zed chosen in your proper lobby. Hence, forcing this comp without him as a chosen, or even Evelyn Shade, is fairly risky, and we would not recommend it as a staple top 4 alternative. Once at 7 and finding your units, you have options of 3-starring extra stuff, like Evelyn or Pyke, or moving on to level 8 and adding whichever traits that you see more fit, and find good units between Keeper and Adept. Adept is usually the better choice, especially if you can find a Yone. You want to backline most stuff, as is the norm with assassin-like comps. You want the opponents to walk up so that your assassins and shades find the gaps to move into to wreak havoc. Remember to position your Pyke near the front line and the opposite side of the carry, or exactly on them if you can. Zed's items haven't changed, they are still RFC, QS, and Runins. Ginsus is not bad, and neither is GA or even BT/Hand of Justice, but Quicksilver usually takes the cake as it allows him to steal a lot of AD early on and, well, destroy people. You can put any Ziggs that you find or make on a Kali who should be next to Zed. Tech items can go on Shen, and that's it for itemization. The wolves are coming down to TFT, ladies and gentlemen, and we have a Wolfie with a bruised ego after a few nerfs, but he is now showing up with his shiny new skill and destroying faces. This comp is another who went from underrated to must play due to the patch. It had issues with talent, and his nerf has actually allowed for comps like this to pick up a lot of speed. You can play this comp in the regular fast 8 playstyle, getting there as soon as possible to both find Warwicks more easily, what's with the new drop chances, as well as the field 6 Divine, which is crucial. You play your best board until you find Warwick, but you should be fielding Jax, maybe even Wukong, Irelia, and the like. If you're not finding a lot of Divine units, then don't play this. The new damage means that hesitating and hedging over which comp to play can lead to irrevocable HP losses. If your chosen is nothing special, sell it before your level 8 roll down. If you get a Warwick with Divine and a Shen with Adept, or even a Warwick with Hunter, you can definitely try to take this comp to the late game. Adept is probably the best chosen, since 8 Divine is hard to fit and it kind of needs a spatula, whereas 4 Adepts is really strong and only needs a chosen and a Yone. You want a Divine chosen over anything else though, since it will allow you to fill in more of the secondary synergies as well. You should have 4 Divine by level 6 and field the gold trait either in mid-January or February. Level 9 is not required for this, but it is highly advisable, as you get the max benefit of all possible traits, and if you've hit Yone or Lee Sin, they're both strong, as they were buffed units last patch. As we mentioned, this is a frontline backline comp. You can protect Ezreal if you so desire, or set a trap in the back for things like Zed, with a random Jax ulting his face. Treat that frontline as a whole unit and flex them in response to your opponents. Full frontline is good because it activates Divine faster as well, so it's preferable. But you guys do you. All we really care about is ranking up and reaching your desired rank. Once again, Warwick items are fairly non-negotiable and anything else will make him less of a champion. Wolfie needs Runins, Deathblade, and Quicksilver, and he will do fine. Afterwards, you can itemize Lee, Yone, or maybe even Ezreal, depending on what item you get. Lee and Ezreal like their mana items, and Yone likes everything. With his buff to damage, he is more of a damage dealer now, so Gunblade becomes a lot better on him as well. And that's it for our must-play comps. Without further ado, let's move on to our honorable mentions. Cultists are here and they're still pretty strong, but they're not auto-win in the early game anymore. Thank goodness. Oh, that's about it. There's no real honorable mentions here. The rest of the comps have been fairly lower in performance than this. That's gonna be it for this video. We will be uploading every week on Wednesday and Sunday. Thank you for watching, and make sure to check out TFT content on YouTube and our high elo coaches on ProGuides.com. Again, my name is Nathan Ng, and if you have any feedback for us, comment below and we'll be happy to read what you have to say. Now get out there and farm some LP using the must-play comps that you saw here today. Don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.